Hey guys, Funk here, and today we're going to do another Windwalker monk commentary for the Mythic Eternal Palace. This time it's going to be for the Queen's Court. I'm going to go through the entire fight and give my thoughts on what I did and try to explain things so you can get a better idea of what you should be doing. Let's get started here. So first things first, on the opener here, I'm a Blood Elf monk, so for my opener, so I'm using Eye of the Tiger and Ascension Talons. Your opener is a bit weird. What you have to do for it is about 5 seconds or so before the pull, because I'm a Blood Elf, I can use Arcane Torrent, which gives me 1 chi, and then I Tiger Cells myself at 3 seconds before the pull so I can get to the boss faster, and then I'll use my Condensed Life Force Azurite Essence 1 second before the pull so I can get that ability active so that it can start casting immediately once the fight starts. Once the fight starts, I'm going to use Tiger Palm, Flying Serpent Kick for the Mastery reset, and then Tiger Palm again, so it'll give me at 5 chi. Once I'm at 5 chi, I can start my opener and do Touch of Death, and then Storm Earth and Fire, and then I will do Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and as soon as I cast the Fist of Fury, because we're lusting on pull and I have Condensed Life Force, I'm going to cancel the Fist of Fury cast with my Cyclotronic Blast trinket, and then I'm going to use Whirling Dragon Punch. The reason why I cancel Fist of Fury is because I'm only losing out on 45% damage for Fist of Fury because the spirits are still going to channel Fist of Fury. Anyway, you can see this, anyways, you get to see this in action here. So there's the Torrent, there's Tiger's Lust, there's the Pot, and then there's the Condensed Life Force. Then there's the Tiger Palm, Serpent Kick, Tiger Palm, TOD, Storm Earth and Fire, Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, 2 ticks, and then I cancel with Cyclotronic Blast. As you can see, the spirits are still casting Fist of Fury. Then I do Whirling Dragon Punch, and then voila, bang, 348,000 TOD. Very good. And then from here on out, it's just very simple. I have so much haste here that my Fist of Fury will come up cooldown really quickly. My goal here is to, around 21 seconds into the fight, there's going to be a potent spark that'll spawn right next to me, and I want to hold my Fist of Fury over that potent spark so I can hit both mobs at the same time. So you'll see that here in a second. You see my Fist of Fury comes off cooldown right about now, but I'm going to hold it for about 2 seconds, wait, and then I Fist of Fury here, hit both things at the same time, and then I activate Storm Earth and Fire. The reason why I do this is because when I was doing this before, the spirits would not hit both mobs. They would go behind the boss and then miss one of the mobs. So to guarantee that I was getting my Fist of Fury, all of my Fist of Fury cleave on both mobs, I delay my Storm Earth and Fire here, I Fist of Fury, and then I activate it here afterwards. So I'll do a Tiger Palm, doing a 3 chi, and then I'll activate Storm Earth and Fire, and then I'm still focusing the Sylvaas boss here, but my spirits will immediately target the Potent Spark, which then leaves me at 3 stacks of Mark of the Crane. For some reason, each of the spirits count as 1 mark. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but then I get to do the Fist of Fury, the Whirling Dragon Punch cleave, and then you'll see me just since I have 3 stacks of Mark of the Crane, I'm primarily trying to use Spinning Crane Kick here, because Spinning Crane Kick is more damage than Rising Sun Kick on 2 targets when I have 3 stacks of Mark of the Crane or more. So I'm doing that there. You're also going to see me use Razor Coral here. I'm using double on use. Razor Coral as soon as it comes off cooldown. And then I'm going to use Touch of Karma as well, because this Potent Spark is about to die. And when this Potent Spark dies, it explodes, doing raid-wide damage. I want to soak this damage with Karma. Additionally, at the same time, this boss is going to cast Frenetic Charge, and I want to soak that charge as well, which is doing more damage. All in all, it's just a really good time to use Touch of Karma for like free damage. You'll see that here. Spark goes off, it fully absorbs Touch of Karma. I go over and soak this, and then I get the Fist of Fury at the end here. Pretty solid start overall. And then from here on out, as melee, there's not much I need to do. I'm pretty much just DPSing this boss. You'll see Zealous Eruption happen here in about a couple seconds. This just means you have to be inside the bubble that this boss has, otherwise you'll take pretty large damage. You'll see the next decree is coming up here. It's Repeat Performance. For Windwalkers, fortunately for us, Repeat repeat performance does not affect us at all, really, because we already don't cast the same spell twice, which is pretty nice. You'll see the third charge or second charge come out here. We're going to go over here and soak it. As long as I'm in the outer edge of the graphic, I'll be able to soak it. And then in about 5 seconds here, once this decree ends, you'll get a stand alone, which means that we have 3 melee. You'll see we have the rogue over here, and we have a demon hunter on the right here. So we pre-assign this. We have pre-assigned spots. Flory the rogue will always be on the left of the boss. Christodam the demon hunter will always be on the right, and I will always be behind the boss, no matter what, once this happens. So we have standalone for 30 seconds. And from here on, I'm just kind of DPSing the boss, you know. One thing to keep an eye out for is in about 20 seconds, I'm going to activate my coral, and then I'm going to cleave both the boss and a potent spark at the same time with the coral additional crit. The timing of this potent spark was kind of weird. It kind of lined up with 2 minutes, but at the same time it didn't. I kind of just delayed my 2 minutes. The reason I do that is because I'm only going to get a certain number of 2-minute cooldowns in this fight anyway, because this fight ends at like 7 minutes 30 seconds. So I can delay my 2 minutes by a little bit, and it's still okay. I won't lose the users here. So I use my crit. I'm at 50% crit exactly, and then I cleaved Fist of Fury on both targets. Now I'm going to cleave a Whirling Dragon Punch on both targets. Pretty good. And you'll notice there that I use Diffuse Magic. I'm using Diffuse Magic because there's a lot of damage that happens there. And you'll notice that this is a new decree that we have here. It's a Deferred Sentence. You'll see the debuffs in the top right there. Basically, our goal was to never reach more than 3 stacks. But as a Windwalker, I can kind of manipulate this and the stacks to push more damage. There, I use Diffuse Magic because I don't want to use Touch of Karma yet. I want to use Touch of Karma later, so that I can use Touch of Karma during TOD, during SCF. And if you don't know, Touch of Karma will contribute 30% of its damage done TOD during SCF instead of 10, because the spirits do not replicate this cast. It's a special rule there. So you'll see that there. But I use Diffuse Magic so I take less damage, because there's a large burst of damage there. You'll see at my 2 minutes coming off cooldown, all my trinkets are coming up as well. So you'll see I use TOD, then I use Touch of Karma, and you'll see I just jump a lot, because you drop the stacks of Deferred Sentence when you move, but movement also counts as jumping, and I found that jumping was more consistent to drop the stacks. So I pop Touch of Karma, I pop TOD, I jump a few times, I cast Fist of Fury. Luckily I get a Fury of Zone proc here, and then I cancel it, do a Cyclotronic Blast, and then I get another big TOD. And then right after this is going to be the next decree, which is Obey or Suffer, which means if you take damage, it provides a 5-second debuff that makes it so that you cannot be healed. So if you take damage, your goal is to not take damage in this phase. You'll see he does charge here, doing Zealous Eruption. You'll see the mage Sammy's soaks the charge for our tank, because the tank got targeted by charge. And then we send in the eruption here. Now after this eruption, we're all gonna move and switch over to Pashmar, the other boss here. Because the main reason that we're pushing Sylvaas this early is because we wanted to get him at 30% so that he's in execute range for the Shadow Priest. The Shadow Priest will have a talent called Twist of Fate, which gives them, I believe, 15% bonus damage when a target is below 35% and they do damage to them. So for the Shadow Priest, this is really good. So that gives them way more damage over the course of the fight. So we just nuke one mob. We nuke one of the bosses down to 30%, and then we switch over to Pashmar for the next set. So after this eruption, all the melee and everyone is just going to be mainly focusing on Pashmar. You'll see me in a few seconds here use my Razor Coral on Pashmar, because that's who I'm going to be switching to momentarily. If you don't know, also, Coral is a very long range. You can apply Coral from very far away, and you don't need to be facing the target that you apply Coral to. I found that out. I discovered that during this boss when we were progressing this. All right, but then from here on out, it's just kind of a repeat of what we've done so far in this fight. So it's going to be form ranks again, and then it's going to be the same decrees. At this point, it just repeats. Now it's just like repeating and doing that all over again while also doing damage to Pashmar. Now, as a melee, I am now looking at 2 timers. I'm looking at the Violent Outburst timer in the bottom right, and I'm looking at the Zealous Eruption timer. So when the Violent Outburst happens, Pashmar will have this giant AoE circle they need to move out of before she finishes the cast, or it'll do a lot of damage. So basically what I'm doing is I'm watching that cast, and I'm kind of trying to call it out for the other melee. So here you'll see we move out. And then in about 14 seconds there's going to be a charge, and then usually after the charge there's an eruption, but this time it's not going to happen. Doesn't look like it is. But there's a spark spawn. I use my my second condensed life force here to get some cleave on it, a little bit of extra haste. And then I go back onto Pashmar. And then we see standalone is in about 2 seconds. I call for melee to spread. We all spread. Remember the same positionings from earlier. Hard to say like behind the boss. And Zealous Eruption's in 10 seconds. So what's going to happen here is that the melee are on this ranged boss, but we need to go to the melee boss because of this eruption. Otherwise, we'll take a lot of damage. So I'm calling, hey melee, go to Sylvaas, go to Sylvaas. In the range here, you'll see the range have made like a little pocket that allows the melee to just slide into, so that we don't take a huge damage, and we can kind of fit in there and then not cleave everyone to death. But as soon as that happens, we have deferred sentence again. This is like the most dangerous part of the fight, I noticed from my perspective, and where I would be the most scared that I was going to die, because it's deferred sentence. So if you move, you take damage. But additionally, we're on the range boss, and the range boss is also moving during this. We're moving a lot while also doing this. You'll see me pop my health stone and my health pot here, but I simultaneously have to pop my second 2-minute cooldowns, or my third 2-minute cooldowns here. You'll see I'm really scared. I also get Fanatical Verdict, which after like about 6 seconds, it'll do a large chunk of damage to you. So I use my health stone there, I use my health pot to heal back up while moving. Keeping myself alive. And then Potent Spark is about 2 seconds, and Violent Outburst is in 5 seconds. So the tank needs to move the boss to way over here so that we can BPS this Potent Spark without being worried about getting cleaved by this outburst. And here I'm able to get 2 bombs at the same time with Crane Kick. Take advantage of that. And again, we just repeat the same phase. 4 ranks again. This is the last time we'll go get 4 ranks, so make sure everyone gets that correctly. And at this point on, I'm just saving all of my cooldowns for the last part of the fight. I want to line up all of my cooldowns all at the same time, right at the end of the fight. And this is the first fight that I actually got to use Coral on, so I wasn't that experienced at using the Razor Coral trinket on this fight. You'll have to excuse me if I don't utilize it properly. You see, I wait a second here so I don't clip people with the verdict. Then we get in for the eruption, and then after this it'll be standalone. So we have to spread out again. But this is pretty much the end of the fight. Like, there's not much else going on here. Now I want to wait 28 seconds because I want to wait until after this Violent Outburst happens to pop my last set of cooldowns, because I don't want to have to move out and move away from Pashmar after I've activated my cooldowns. I just want to stick on her. These new sparks spawn. We need to kill these sparks, but the melee are just sticking on the boss because it's not close enough to cleave both. The outburst is in 3. Kind of just saving everything. Kind of scared here, a little scary. Now I go on my cooldowns. She's really low, but I can pop all my cooldowns now, and we just go in. Bang. Bang. This is the end of the fight. It's a little bit chaotic. There's a charge here. We wiped a couple times to this charge, so you'll see this charge in a second. There's a charge right at the end of the fight here. This charge is a little scary, and it's right near Berserk. we had problems where the people that were targeted by this charge would run to Pashmar, and if this happens and it gets in range, the bosses will take like 99% reduced damage. So if you get charge here, it's better to sack yourself and just kind of stay away from Pashmar, because Pashmar at this point cannot move, and as you can see, Pashmar has this 10-second cast, and if she finishes it, she heals herself to 50% health. So we cannot have that happen. But this is pretty much the end of the fight. It's pretty much over from here. We just nuke the boss. I die at the end here, and yeah, that's I think Queen's Court. Overall, I kind of like this fight, but as melee, it is not that enjoyable just because there's not much you can do. It's a lot of just hitting one boss. There's not a whole lot of things you can do with Windwalker on this fight. But there are little things that you can optimize. I obviously did not play this boss perfectly. I got a rank 2, I believe, on this fight. But there's definitely more that I could have done. But yeah, that's Queen's Court. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.